How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Real Night. Today we're diving back into House of the Dragon, season number 1, episode number 3. Last time a very historical decision was made, I think. One that's probably going to inform the rest of the season. Inside the episode, after the episode, if you didn't watch that, I did include that at the end of the video. They were saying that it was a very pivotal decision on Viserys' part to choose Alicent over Laena. And I can definitely see that informing the rest of the season as far as the conflict goes. I think there's probably going to be some civil war going on because Lord Corlys went to Daemon to try to solve these issues with the trade routes and the Triarchy and the Crab Feeder. So kind of a conflict of interest there. We're going to see how this plays out. Daemon was already vying for power a little bit, and this is probably just going to push him over the edge. Let's roll it. Yeah, so what I'm really looking out for in the opening here is kind of like the same thing that we got in Game of Thrones. I don't know if they're going to be doing that here, but kind of like differences. Because in Game of Thrones, well, I'm sure you guys know, but, you know, they would always, or at least sometimes, change up the intro depending on where we were going to be seeing, you know, what we were going to be seeing in the episodes. So I don't know if they're going to continue that tradition. I think that's Lord Corlys' house.
Valerian is coming for you! The sea snake will have your boxy fucking head! No, please!
The war pit. You know, it'd probably be better to do it like right there rather than right there, because you can easily do that from there, but if you do it right here, it's a lot harder to get out of. That's Daemon. I don't know if he's necessarily saved. It's a very similar shot to when Dany came down with the dragons and burned the... yeah, like he can't see you, bro. You're an ant in comparison. But yeah, when Dany came down and was burning the Lannister army's kind of convoy with the treasure and the gold, the ground to sky type of feeling, it just kind of gives it more of a scale, you know. Get hit. I guess one of those archers is gonna get a raise. Very interesting with the CG there, but his dragon's design is very interesting too. It's not like stocky, it's very kind of wiry. I wonder if that's just because might be a younger dragon or what.
And you have my nose, don't you?
2 years.
By the end, it only remains for Viserys to name him heir to the throne.
I wouldn't be so sure.
He's the king's firstborn son.
I don't know that his grace sees it so clearly.
Yeah, but it might not even matter, honestly. Like Rhaenys was talking about. You know, even if he doesn't officially name her, people are going to be expecting it.
Daemon and the Sea Snake started their war without his grace's leave. Were he to intervene now, after so long, it would make the crown appear weak.
Can someone tell me where in the seven hells Rhaenyra might be?
Under the dragon's eye.
Chilling out at the weirwood. Isn't it weirwood? There's no face in it, but it's kind of like the same type of tree. I think they burned all the weirwood trees. I don't know if that was before this or if this happens during this time frame.
You may go, Samuel. You are to stay by order of the princess.
Oh no.
The queen commands you to leave the Godswood at once. None of it needs be this way in truth, Rhaenyra.
Like, I feel like she can understand that Alicent wasn't trying to make this happen. At least in my eyes. I don't know if she was or not, but... I feel for her. For sure.
Send fleets and men and clear out the Triarchy for good.
But the crown is not at war.
The crown is at war, princess. though you...
Yeah. It's kind of like the US, you know? We're not officially at war, but we've been in conflict for like 20 years.
Lord Jason Lannister.
Oh. Lannister. So I guess their house was established at this point. But they were like a lesser house, I believe.
On a perfect day, one could see clear across the Sunset Sea.
It must be quite something.
I don't have a dragon pit, of course, but I do have the means and resources to build one.
Yeah, he's making a play.
Dragons, of course. I'd do anything for my queen. Or lady wife.
Thank you for the wine.
I think they were really, you know, playing with the camera angles there. I don't know how tall Millie Alcott, I think her name is in real life, but they were definitely making her, they were highlighting the kind of like difference in probably age, but also height, just making it a little bit weirder for us as the audience watching. Because you see how, you know, see how close they're looking in height here, but in that exchange, they were kind of upping the angle, you know?
I do not wish to get married.
Even I do not exist above tradition and duty, Rhaenyra.
Excuse me, Your Grace.
Yeah, he's been making scenes quite a bit lately.
Princess, wait!
It's good that she named him. Seems to be doing his job. But yeah, I can see a love triangle happening here. And then maybe not even triangle though, because Daemon doesn't seem to be in the picture. That was the triangle that I was thinking it was going to be. But maybe between Lannister and him.
Was I named heir to the Iron Throne, so that I might only further raise the standing of a Lord of Castle Rock?
Before they were something.
Do you want me to kill him?
How lucky you are to have a say in your own life.
Many in the realm would gladly trade positions with you, Princess.
Only because none of them has ever held my position.
It's just a perspective, I think. You know, she's lived with it, grown up with it. But as Cole was saying, you know, if somebody traded her position, they would see all those little things, see what a huge impact they could have.
Your Grace. How far? The droppings were found half a league to the east.
You know, I kind of did always wonder, like, how these hunts would go. It's like a curated... It's like a treasure hunt for a kid, you know? I think we got a little bit of a hint of the Lannister theme there. Just a little bit. Reigns of Castamere.
This forged in the Golden Gallery in honor of Prince Aegon.
It's quite a thing.
Many of us had assumed.
Many of us, you say.
Have your bannermen questioned?
Well, you know, I'm glad that he's sticking by the
It
decision.
is your sworn duty to report rebellion
Get on
stirring
him.
in my kingdom.
I
did
only-
not decide to name Rhaenyra my heir on a whim. All the lords of the kingdom would do well to remember that.
It's just a matter of after he's dead, are they going to honor that?
Your Grace.
So, like, I'm glad to see him, you know, standing up for Rhaenyra and standing up for that
Wine.
decision. But I haven't seen, like, his hand or anything like that, or his wounds, because he's wearing gloves and stuff.
There is another choice beyond Casterly Rock. Prince Aegon.
What? Beg. Yeah, like a
Just
baby.
turned to it. Yes. But
Toddler.
it would cease the endless proposals for Rhaenyra's hand.
Exactly.
Betrayed
What?
them. I came here to
I mean, like, I guess it...
suffocated by all this fucking politicking.
Let us speak no more.
It makes sense for the Targaryens, I guess, but like, wow. But I guess that would solve stuff. Coming from a logical perspective here. You know, their kids might not be the best, but it would solve the issue of either or. Why not both? Crazy.
It would seem to me the best match for Rhaenyra is the son of the Sea Snake. Some years ago, I counseled you to take his sister to wife. My reasoning remains the same.
Yeah, this guy, you know, while he does come across as a little bit slimy, he does seem to have a good head on his shoulders as far as like the politics stuff goes. And he seems to want to make the right decision, you know. I feel for him too, you know. I would hate to be politicking all the time as well. It's kind of a necessary part of being king.
His Grace is certain to be worried by your absence.
His Grace can worry himself to death if he so likes.
Dang, careful what you wish for there. Like, I could understand if he was like a very poor father, and he has had his moments of being a poor father, of course, but he does seem to genuinely care for Rhaenyra. Oh, a boar. Dang. Oh. Yeah. The fact that she's fighting off a boar is crazy. That requires some strength. Her first kill. But he's probably going to have a wound from that. Dude went flying.
Is everything all right, Your Grace?
I named her to protect the realm from Daemon.
I wonder how much of that was comped. I think that fire in the foreground was real.
Many in my line being dragon riders.
Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just
Very
lighting.
few among us have been dreamers. What if I was wrong?
Just
for the kill.
I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, but the props in this, I'm just not feeling them, you know? I think they kind of lack a bit of weight, bit of realism. I don't know if it's just me. It's just like Daemon's helmet in the first. And now this weapon right here. And I think the parallel they're probably drawing here. There could be multiple parallels here. Maybe one drawing back to Game of Thrones, you know, the stag, the Baratheon house. But more concretely in the show here, I'm probably drawing the parallel between Viserys and Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra killed a boar. Lots of passion. Tried to fight it off, you know. And Viserys has his whole court around him curating the kill, and now they're all like clapping for him, you know. Whereas Rhaenyra, she was out in the wild. A true kill. Good on Cole, though, for, you know, being here for helping her through this. Maybe blood staining the white hair could be another sign as well. Then the king there. He's disgusted by that.
Aegon, like his namesake, was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms. If Viserys were to name him heir, the realm would fate him for it.
She probably doesn't want to betray her friend yet again.
You mustn't ignore the certain truth that if Rhaenyra were to step over Aegon to ascend the throne, the realm would tear itself apart.
They all swore obeisance to her.
I wonder what the mural is in the background. Looks pretty violent.
She must needs marry a High Lord who will honor her, defend her, and serve her as king consort. Her wishes in this matter.
Yeah, but, you know, very few of these lords are going to want to be a king consort.
I must believe it is her choice to do so. Lord Corlys and Prince Daemon are losing their war.
Badly, by all accounts.
This is a plea for aid. What do you believe, Viserys?
That I am forever doomed to anger one person in the pleasing of another.
You can't please everyone.
Then I pose a simple question. Is it better for the realm if the crab feeder thrives, or is vanquished?
Will you not be helped? Why must every effort on your behalf be resisted, as if to the death?
Because you mean to replace me with Alicent Hightower's son. The boy you always wanted. You have him in hand now. You have no further use for me.
You have misjudged me, Rhaenyra.
Oh, know it.
I think she has
You
misjudged
said it yourself.
I wish to see you contented. Happy, even.
If it was for advantage, you would have wed Lena Velaryon.
She's not wrong there.
That is true enough.
Yeah.
You must marry. Strengthen your own claim.
So yeah, I think she understands that too. It's just like, she might even be also dealing with, you know, being a teenager as well. And I'm not kind of trying to minimize her feelings or, you know, her decision making here, but she probably is dealing with that, just wanting to be rebellious as well.
As to your match, make it yourself. Search him out. Find one that pleases you.
She definitely misjudged him there. But I don't blame her, you know, it doesn't seem like they talk at all. Like, this conversation happening after 3 years, like, dang. Should have been, like, at least, like, 1 year at the most, you know? Like, when Alicent was pregnant, they probably should have had this conversation, like, okay, what if it's a boy, you know?
I did waver. At one time. But I swear to you now, on your mother's memory, you will not be supplanted.
By him. To the Stepstones.
He at least is fighting this war. What role have you played in his council, uncle, other than master of complaints?
Enough, Leno. If King's Landing will not support Daemon, why should any of us?
Oh, they do now.
If you do not seize control of this war, my lord, the crabs will soon dine on all of us.
I just want to know why they do all this stuff in front of all these soldiers, you know? Like, throughout this entire episode, they've been having, like, all these conversations and stuff in front of, like, everyone. It's not the type of stuff you want to have, like, in front of the troops.
I bring word from His Grace Viserys Targaryen. First of his name, King of the Andals, the Roy Knight, and the First Men, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, and Protector of the Realm.
Okay. That helmet. Why? Why? Is he mad about, like, the time it took?
I shall pray nightly to the gods for your safe return.
That's why it's called the Stepstones. Oh, you better watch out. They got the arrows on him. Yeah. Just Daemon about to solo this. I'm just waiting for that dragon to swoop in. Hiding around the corner. Dang. Yeah, they really have no regard for their own guys, huh? So they're definitely going to lose more people shooting arrows into a crowd where they are the crowd, whereas Daemon is just one man. They're definitely going to get some friendly fire in there. Yeah, it was really just a matter of time. Dang. I was waiting for it. Oh, he's a dragon rider too. Dracarys.
Dracarys. Dracarys. Dracarys.
I don't know if that's the pronunciation, but it worked. The dragon understood it. Looked like bro just like hit something. Wasn't looking where he was going, got clotheslined. The fact that nobody told him it was Dracarys. Or maybe they wanted him to say it like that, I don't know. Oh, did Daemon already do the deed? Made quick work. Made quick work of the guy, dang. Well, they did it. And kind of, I think they're drawing another parallel there between Daemon and Rhaenyra again. I'm seeing a lot of parallels between them. Rhaenyra was in kind of that same physical shape this episode with the blood all over her and stuff like that. I don't know if that was just the end of the way that he killed and that was just like a small detachment of forces that were just sent with the message and the larger force was going to come behind. But if they didn't utilize the crown's forces and this is all they had to do the entire time, I wonder why they took them 3 years to decide to do that. I guess maybe just like dwindling down the forces to a point where they could do that successfully, but so much in this episode just feels like it could have happened earlier than it did. Like the conversation between Rhaenyra and her father, as well as the Stepstone kind of incursion here. You know, if they were really hiding out in these caves and stuff, they could have maybe taken the beach there. I guess that all those battles and stuff were their attempts to do that in the past, and that's why there's so many like shipwrecks and so many bodies out there, is because, you know, this is something that they've tried to do on multiple occasions. I don't know what the difference was this time. Maybe just the Daemon, you know, surrendering tactic is something they didn't try before. But yeah, Rhaenyra has leave to find a spouse for herself. It might be Cole, because he seems to be pretty accepting of her, and that would be huge for him. Like, that's, talk about a come up. Cole was lowborn, became a knight, then became a king's guard, and then marries the princess. You know, that is a family maker right there. I just wish that Rhaenyra and Viserys would talk more, because they could like come to so many like realizations together if they just talk things out sooner, like instead of just letting each other stew in their own mind. I get that she's mad at her best friend for doing this, but I'm sure she can understand. Like, it's not really her decision. The king made that decision, and it was a move by Hightower to make that happen. Jason Lannister. I definitely think he's probably going to be a spurned suitor. Rhaenyra doesn't want to have anything to do with him. I don't blame her. He doesn't really seem like a trustworthy guy if we know anything about Lannisters. But that might be an issue, because I don't know if the saying has been coined yet, but, you know, a Lannister always pays their debts, and it might be coined in this show. You know, he might be getting back at somebody who kind of takes that seat from him. So the edit is done, and now we're going to hop into the inside the episode.
We'd always talked about episode 3 being about leaving childhood behind for many of our characters, for Daemon, for Rhaenyra, for Alicent.
I think definitely they showed that through the coming into their own with the blood all over them and whatnot.
Because of the nature of this story, because it was a generational conflict that was about war, we needed that time to plant those seeds and let them grow, and the only way to do that is to let time pass. We meet Viserys, he's got a son, Alicent is pregnant, the war in the Stepstones is not going well. We understand that 2 or 3 years worth of material has happened in those couple of opening scenes.
We tried to approach it in as practical a way as possible at the first time, and it was a good way of grounding.
See, I don't know.
The time jump.
It came up a couple of times for me when I was watching, like, just the lack of practicality, like 3 years to have a conversation, but like not even like 1 year after he was born, 2 years after he was born, they're going to wait till 3 years to have this talk. The commoners still have to take care of their kids, but these highborn people, they just generally don't have to even be around them too much if they don't want to, because the nurses are there to help. Some of the elements just didn't really fit a 3-year time jump to me. But I understand why they would have to tackle these issues.
Episode 3 is Childhood's End. Rhaenyra feels the pressure to marry. Viserys realizes that he has to find and make order in his house, particularly when it comes to his brother, Daemon, and Rhaenyra, his daughter.
Yeah, we didn't get a look at any of its wounds either this time around, which was interesting.
Name Aegon the heir to the throne.
She's so incredibly frustrated at being effectively a political pawn in her father's game that she needs to express it in some way, shape, or form.
Rhaenyra is very rebellious, angry, and she's hurting more than she lets on.
Kristen Cole, who we set up a little bit in episode 2, but now we understand that in 3 years of being her sworn protector, Cole and she have developed a close relationship.
Yeah. Her fighting off a board is crazy to me.
Rhaenyra just to suppress a lot of anger, so she kind of just snaps.
There's a real catharsis to her killing the boar. You know, how Rhaenyra is treated and boxed out of a man's world.
The boar attack is the boiling over of Rhaenyra's frustration in the episode, and she takes out all of her aggressions about everything on the boar, but the whole camp gets pulled pork sandwiches after
I don't know
that.
about the whole camp. Them talking about this boar scene just reminded me just of the action in this, specifically with Daemon. He took so many arrows this episode and didn't really faze him. He was still running around, just pulling them out, Contrast that with something like Lord of the Rings with Boromir. Like, it's a very powerful emotional scene where he's getting hit with arrows, like 3 arrows, and that's what takes him out. But Daemon here, he's still like running marathons after taking multiple arrows in him and stuff like that, and like being in perfect shape to go and fight the crab feeder there. I don't know. It didn't strike me while I was watching, but like during the edit, I was just like, wow. He's like an invincible force. He has like plot armor. And as far as Rhaenyra goes, I gotta be honest with you, I really don't think that a girl her size could fight off a boar like that. I mean, maybe adrenaline coming in, that could, definitely help with it, but I don't know. And like emotionally, yeah, it was a great scene for her. We're kind of seeing that. She's at home doing a lot of these more like traditionally male things, and it's not really something she's had throughout her life. So she's kind of exploring that now. And she has even more say in what she's going to be doing now that she has her father's go ahead to kind of pick her own spouse.
The white stag is the symbol of divine royalty from deeper kind of medieval lore and Arthurian tales.
When the White Hart is sighted, it's such a rare sighting, and it's considered an incredible omen on Aegon's name day.
It sets off a doubt in Viserys' mind that has been.
Yeah, and he does take dreams like very seriously, as we're told.
We know that Viserys is kind of prone to mythology and signs and dreams and symbolism, and to have that symbol put in front of him on this day where he's really secretly wondering whether he's made a wrong decision and then be forced to reckon with it on a dramatic level was a really interesting thing for us.
So then when it turns out that it's not a white stag, but it's a brown one, his relief is palpable.
Yeah, but Rhaenyra got the white stag, which I guess is the filmmaker symbolism for the story going, her being the true heir.
It's 3 years later, and we see that this war is not going well. The men are fatigued, people are leaving, Daemon's leadership is causing a lot of dissension.
Daemon goes to war for his own motives, essentially, because I think he wants to, and regardless of the consequences, because it gets his brother's attention.
We wanted...
But are we going to talk about, like, why he did that? I put the editor's note in there about, another guess that I might have of why he just like snapped on that guy. I don't know, I guess they're not really going to discuss the exact reason why, but I think it is more along the lines of the fact that he has been fighting this war and it's like been his war, his thing. Corlys came to him, and for his brother to be stepping in and being like, okay, like I'll take charge and I'll win this war for you. I'll send all these men and stuff, and I guess that would just kind of like make him snap in that moment. but I don't know, they kind of just glossed over that scene here.
We wanted to show Daemon's fighting style and his dynamism and his ability to move and think on the run.
He fights in a sort of Daemon-esque spirit.
Daemon-esque. He's his own adjective.
And mess up.
I was always very keen on the idea that you had to see him lose, and in doing that, winning on some level.
Really, all of it is a suicide run. And it's kind of astonishing because at every point Daemon should die.
It was really meant to be an anvil where Daemon's character could be forged. And he could go into the battle and come out as a formidable force that had proven himself worthy of some reputation in Westeros.
There's no way that story would not have ended with his death if not for the arrival of the cavalry. And that's the thing I like about it, is that he came there to die, and he
so was he even planning
death in the face. And
he just went out there by himself, I guess.
I think Matt did great. He was definitely in the war zones when he was doing this sequence.
Daemon emerging out of the cave with Crabfeeder's torso is the Daemon that launches off for the rest of the season.
Okay.
Rhaenyra, Viserys, and Daemon emerge out of episode 3, reborn with new perspective on who they are and what their purpose is.
Their thoughts were interesting this time around. I don't know if I agreed with all of them, but I got the overall message they were trying to put forth. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.